So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally...
In a single chilling ad, Nike turned Caitlin Clark into a serpent. Minutes later, her signature shoes sold out in a record-breaking 5 minutes. And almost immediately, an army of online critics absolutely lost their minds. This wasn't just a marketing campaign, it was a calculated power play that officially crowned a new queen in the world of sports. In doing so, it exposed a bitter war that's been raging just beneath the surface. And it all started with a commercial that was less of an advertisement and more of a declaration. So what exactly did Nike show the world that caused such an explosive and furious reaction?
Heard already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their Caitlin Clark growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
The ad that broke the silence felt less like a product promotion and more like a scene from a blockbuster film. It was a declaration. The video opens on Caitlin Clark, her focus absolute, sitting in a starkly lit room. She's lacing up a pair of striking black and gold Kobe 5s, the shoes she's long called her magic. But as the laces tighten, a chilling transformation begins. Her eyes, known for their competitive fire, morph into menacing, snake-like slits. It's an unmistakable direct channeling of the late Kobe Bryant's legendary Mamba mentality.
Caitlin Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear her.
The entire production was dripping with prestige. The sleek cinematography, the high-end visual effects, the dramatic score, it was all A-list. This was the kind of premium superstar treatment typically reserved for a handful of cultural titans like Michael Jordan or LeBron James. For decades, women's sports had been handed the marketing scraps, often receiving ads that felt cheap or obligatory. This ad wasn't a scrap, it was the main course, a signal to the world that Nike was finally ready to acknowledge who was running the show.
We got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We have the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as a Caitlin logo. Or sorry, as a...
But in the world of modern sports, no major move goes unchallenged. For every person who saw the commercial as a long overdue and powerful tribute, a predictable chorus of critics crawled out of the woodwork to voice their outrage. The internet was flooded with the same tired arguments that have trailed Caitlin since her college days. Why is she getting all this attention? They cried. What about the other, more established players? This is far too much for a rookie who hasn't proven anything yet. These weren't good faith critiques. They were the sounds of gatekeepers furious that someone had shattered their preconceived notions of how an athlete, particularly a female athlete, should rise.
Now, people felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't, allow, even his family, I'm pretty sure, is not just going to give his signature shoe to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even got.
It was a strange, almost willful refusal to acknowledge the undeniable reality staring them in the face. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player on the roster. She is the face of women's basketball, a commercial juggernaut, and Nike, after a dangerous delay, finally found the courage to market her like the icon she already is. The backlash wasn't about fairness, it was about a resistance to change.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hidden right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on.
While the haters and gatekeepers were busy composing angry tweets, the free market was delivering its own verdict on the matter, and its judgment was swift, brutal, and final. To truly grasp what happened, you have to look at the minutes, not hours, after those Kobe PE sneakers dropped on Nike's notoriously difficult SNKRS app. The initial stock of just 13,000 pairs evaporated. They didn't just sell out, they vanished in under 5 minutes. The $190 retail price became a quaint, distant memory as a digital feeding frenzy erupted.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless, I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her, no collab.
Within 2 hours, pairs were already being flipped on eBay and other resale sites for $375. By the end of the day, StockX, the leading barometer for sneaker value, showed an average sale price of $365, with the most coveted sizes soaring to an unbelievable $800. This wasn't some carefully manufactured hype created by a marketing team. This was the raw, untamable, and undeniable power of the Caitlin Clark effect, a force of consumer demand that hadn't been seen in the sport for decades.
Your stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature shoe.
The sudden, explosive success of the commercial and shoe drop only served to highlight a much deeper, more chaotic story that had been unfolding behind Nike's closed doors. This wasn't just a simple case of a delayed marketing plan. It was a symptom of internal turmoil and a PR crisis that nearly boiled over. The tension was amplified by the toxic discourse surrounding Clark and fellow WNBA star Aja Wilson. While Nike was being publicly criticized for pushing Wilson's line while ignoring Clark, a bombshell revelation changed the entire narrative. Aja Wilson admitted she had known about her own signature shoe deal for 2 full years, a secret she kept while her camp engaged in what many interpreted as passive-aggressive subtweets and comments, seemingly fanning the flames of a rivalry by implying she was being overlooked for the new rookie.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlin Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that, but that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are indeed.
But here's what really has the haters pressed. Nike is finally treating Caitlin like the Assad she's always been,
It was manufactured drama. Then, the internal chaos at Nike was laid bare for the world to see by Jordan Rodgers, a 15-year Nike veteran. He publicly torched his former employer in a scathing critique, stating they had the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and had somehow convinced themselves they needed to slow play this. He exposed Nike's fear of entering the either-or conversation, something they never do with their male superstars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who all have signature lines simultaneously. Rodgers' expose revealed a corporation paralyzed by fear, a giant tripping over its own feet.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something.
While this internal drama was playing out, Caitlin herself was busy doing what she does best, fundamentally transforming her sport on a statistical level. To understand why Nike made such a dramatic and expensive course correction, you have to look beyond the shoes and the social media chatter. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a quantifiable data-backed tidal wave. With her on the court, WNBA viewership surged to its highest levels in 24 years. Games featuring her Indiana Fever averaged a stunning 1.09 million viewers. For comparison, games that didn't feature her averaged just 414,000 viewers. That's a 163% increase. The 2024 NCAA Women's Championship game, her final college appearance, drew 18.9 million viewers, crushing the men's final by over 4 million. But she wasn't just putting eyeballs on screens, she was putting bodies in seats. Her games triggered a 105% increase in attendance across the league. In fact, her 41 games accounted for an incredible 33.5% of the WNBA's total attendance for the entire season. This wasn't a player moving the needle, she had become the needle itself.
Initially, I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 Eggplant had just 30,000 pairs on Nike.
The decision to anchor her comeback commercial to the legacy of Kobe Bryant was a stroke of marketing genius, but it was far more than that. It was a move rooted in a deep and authentic history that resonated with anyone who had followed her journey. This wasn't a random marketing gimmick. Clark has been wearing Kobe's signature sneakers religiously since her record-breaking days at Iowa, often referring to them as her magic shoes and her babies. When she channeled that Mamba mentality in the ad, it wasn't an actress playing a role. It was a genuine recognition of a kindred spirit. The late Kobe Bryant was a fierce and vocal champion for women's basketball, mentoring a new generation of stars like his daughter Gigi and Sabrina Ionescu. He would have instantly recognized the same obsessive dedication, the same killer instinct, and the same relentless drive to win in Caitlin. The commercial wasn't just selling a shoe, it was portraying a spiritual passing of the torch, a validation of her place as the heir to that unyielding competitive fire.
Her highest viewed so far on NBA TV, 624,000 folks. We're talking 3 times the amount. We are talking 2 times the amount on a random channel called NBA TV. What's it going to take for these other games' viewership to start?
This powerful connection to a legendary past is what sets the stage for an industry-altering future. While the Kobe PE shoes caused an earthquake in the sneaker world, they were only the opening act. The main event, her own official signature shoe, is set to drop later this year, and its significance cannot be overstated. To put this monumental shift into perspective, consider this. In the entire 28-year history of the WNBA, only 12 women have ever been granted a signature sneaker. 12. Meanwhile, there are over 22 current NBA players with their own shoe lines. Her historic $28 million a year endorsement deal, once seen as an eye-popping figure, is now starting to look like the bargain of the century. This isn't just about creating a new product, it represents Nike finally and decisively challenging decades of unspoken sports marketing conventions. For too long, women's sports have been positioned as secondary content. With this move, Nike is making it clear that a female athlete can be the main event, the primary attraction, fully capable of driving global business results all on her own.
Is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's got, if you will, balls. She's tough. She's shrewd. She's not a good passer. She's all-time great. And she makes logo threes, and she makes them beautifully. She jump shoots the way Steph does from the logo, where she's not feet on the floor pushing set shots. She goes up, holds it, and flicks the wrist, and has incredibly underrated strength. She's just got all-time it factor. She's doing things on a nightly basis where you sit back and say, oh, she's selling them out like crazy. That's Jordan-esque. So in impact, she's already having Michael Jordan impact.
That $28 million deal is no longer just a big number on a contract. It's a weapon that has ignited a new arms race in women's sports. It has set a new financial benchmark, a baseline that forces competitors like Adidas, Under Armour, and even Reebok, who made a major splash by signing Angel Reese, to react. They can no longer offer female athletes a fraction of what their male counterparts receive and call it progress. The market has been reset, but the impact goes far beyond rival shoe companies. Nike's massive investment sends a powerful signal to the entire corporate world. Women's basketball is a premium, bankable product.
It's good to see that not only Nike are doing this, but Nike actually are willing to say, you know what, yeah, we'll give Caitlin her PE. We'll give Caitlin her PE. And I wonder what way the Haitlins are going to twist this. I wonder what way the Haitlins are going to twist.
This encourages other major brands, from telecommunications to financial services, to reconsider their own marketing budgets and invest in the league and its players. It's creating a ripple effect where rising salaries, more lucrative media rights, and bigger sponsorships become the new normal. We're even seeing a tangible Caitlin Clark stimulus package in cities she visits, with local economies reporting surges in hotel bookings and restaurant sales. Her value isn't just on Nike's balance sheet, it's being felt across the country. But if her value is so obvious, so quantifiable, why did Nike hesitate for so long? The answer lies in a single powerful word. For Caitlin Clark didn't just enter a basketball league, she was thrust into the center of a raging cultural firestorm. She has become a lightning rod for politically divisive conversations, often co-opted by media pundits who use her for race baiting and to generate toxic narratives. Nike, a global corporation that historically avoids controversy at all costs, was terrified of stepping into this minefield. Their initial inaction was a symptom of this fear. But then came the epiphany, best summarized by their own tagline from a recent Super Bowl ad: "You can't win, so win." They realized they could never win the unwinnable cultural debate. Trying to please the unpleasable critics was a fool's errand, so they chose to do the only thing that made sense: win the market. While the pundits were arguing, the numbers told a clear, undeniable, and objective story. Viewership, attendance, merchandise sales, website traffic, every single metric pointed in one direction. Nike finally chose to listen to the data, not the drama. They chose to back their unicorn. In the end, the story of Caitlin Clark and Nike is one of a near-catastrophic fumble, a powerful and decisive course correction, and the undeniable data-backed proof of a cultural phenomenon. Nike stumbled, but they didn't fall. They recovered with a statement commercial that has put the entire industry on notice. Caitlin Clark is that girl. She is the one who sells out arenas, who shatters viewership records, and who crashes sneaker websites in minutes. The critics and the haters can stay mad, screaming into the digital void, but their opinions have been rendered utterly irrelevant. The market has spoken, the fans have spoken, and now, finally, Nike has spoken. They are all in, and there's no looking back. The Caitlin Clark era has only just begun, and what we're witnessing is just a glimpse of how one athlete is permanently rewriting the rules, not just for women's basketball, but for the entire business of sports.